Welcome to the Explainer. If you're involved in facility management, architecture, or operational design, you already know that how people navigate a building is just as critical as the building itself. But let's be honest, the tools we've been using to guide them are kind of stuck in the past. Today, we're exploring a massive technological shift. We're going to look at how direct-to-wall printing is completely replacing traditional signage and literally turning your actual architecture into the communication medium. I want you to really think about this for a second. How much time, budget, and energy does your team waste maintaining, replacing, and coordinating a patchwork of traditional signage? In large facilities, whether we're talking about a sprawling hospital network or a massive multi-building university campus, traditional signage isn't just an aesthetic issue. It's a continuous operational liability. You're dealing with these discrete objects that require constant upkeep, and that steals your team away from actual space management, leaving them with the endless, frustrating joy of patching drywall and swapping out faded acrylics. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with number 1, the signage clutter problem. Move to 2, the technological shift. Explore 3, operational advantages. And 4, the lifecycle cost advantage. Then we'll look at 5, real-world industry applications, before wrapping up with 6, launching your project. Section 1, this signage clutter problem, or what we like to call the hidden trap of traditional signage. So why does traditional signage fail so hard at scale? Well, it's for a few painfully obvious reasons. First, it's the materials themselves. Adhesive decals inevitably bubble and peel like a bad sunburn, especially in those high-traffic corridors. That immediately degrades your brand perception and just makes the space look neglected. Printed posters, they fade under standard fluorescent and natural light within just 18 months. No way around it. Then you've got the hidden capital expenses, the metal or acrylic hardware brackets that overcomplicate maintenance and add arbitrary cost to every single installation. And if you're managing a multi-location network, changing out this wayfinding means a coordination nightmare involving dozens of separate orders, vendors, and installers. It generates massive waste and essentially traps your facilities team in this endless, expensive replacement cycle. Moving to Section 2, the technological shift, we are talking about direct-to-wall printing technology. So, the crucial point here is this breakthrough called integrated wayfinding. This means we are embedding navigation directly into the architecture itself. We're entirely eliminating those discrete hanging signs and transforming the wall itself into the communication medium. Just imagine a busy patient corridor. Instead of a confusing jumble of directional posters screwed into the wall, you have intuitive, color-coded pathways woven seamlessly into the drywall. It completely eliminates the signage clutter, making spaces feel highly intentional, calm, and incredibly professional. To understand how this is practically achieved, let's demystify the science a bit. It actually works across 4 precise steps. First up is preparation, assessing and cleaning the substrate. Amazingly, this works on finished drywall, concrete, CMU block, and even brick. Second, pre-print verification uses strict digital proofs to ensure color and scale are absolutely perfect before a single drop of ink is laid down. Step 3 is where the magic happens, direct printing. Advanced equipment applies UV curable inks at high resolution directly to the wall. There is zero adhesive mess, no vinyl, no wallpaper backing whatsoever. Finally, finishing. A protective top coat can be applied for high-touch areas, or it can be left paint-over ready. Because those UV curable inks cure instantly under UV exposure, they bond permanently to the substrate. It performs exactly like painted architecture. Which brings us to Section 3, operational advantages, speed, durability, and scale. When it comes to operations, speed is a massive advantage here. A typical installation for a wall or section takes under 5 hours. But the real game changer? It's done by a 2 to 3 person portable team with zero construction, zero wet adhesive, zero fumes, and zero operational downtime. You literally don't have to shut down your hospital wing or your busy corporate lobby to make this happen. Next up is durability, and this is a big one. Because of that molecular bonding of the UV-cured inks we talked about, these graphics don't just sit on a surface layer waiting to be scratched off. They are fully bonded to the substrate. This ensures your graphics remain crisp and vibrant for over 5 years. They easily absorb the heavy wear of thousands of foot traffic events in a busy hospital, or the daily bumps of a crowded school hallway. And this brilliantly illustrates the complete paradigm shift we're looking at. Instead of discrete, clunky objects that rely on fading vinyl and heavy hardware, which we know demand constant maintenance, you get total architectural integration. It's a seam-free molecular bond that allows you to scale a beautifully consistent brand experience across multiple locations without any variation. As experts in the space, we can confidently say it is simply a superior operational model. Let's look at Section 4, the Lifecycle Cost Advantage. It's time to shift to the total cost of ownership. Sure, traditional signage might cost a little bit less on day one, but let's look at the long-term reality. The adhesive fails and the materials fade, forcing a full replacement cycle every 2 to 3 years, and that's not even mentioning the high labor and hardware repair costs. Now, integrated graphics do require a higher initial investment. However, because they remain highly functional for 5+ years without needing specialized labor or constant hardware replacements, a mid-size institution will completely break even in just 3 to 5 years. After that, the cost advantage compounds massively. Plus, by eliminating vinyl waste and nasty adhesive chemicals, it's a huge win for your facility's sustainability goals. Section 5. Real-world industry applications. Let's explore healthcare, education, and corporate environments. First, healthcare. Clarity and durability are absolutely critical here. There was a 250-bed regional hospital that had an emergency department plastered with outdated directional posters. It was causing massive visitor confusion. By switching to color-coded pathways and room numbering printed directly onto the clinical corridors, they entirely transformed the patient experience. And to avoid any disruption to patient care, the installation was staged perfectly over 3 night shifts. The result is that 4 years later, those graphics are still vibrant and functional with minimal maintenance. Now, what's really interesting about this next example is the education sector, where scale is absolutely everything. Take a university with 40,000 students trying to unify 12 different academic buildings. They didn't just put up new signs. They developed a comprehensive modular wayfinding system. They integrated the campus identity, floor maps, and directional cues directly into the architecture of key stairwells and building entries. Students navigated faster, and when it was finally time for a brand refresh, the university simply repainted select graphics. They didn't have to tear down and rebuild a costly signage infrastructure. Finally, in the corporate space, it's all about blending function with high-impact brand expression. A 4-floor financial services office utilized this exact technology to embed their brand narrative and departmental identification directly into their reception areas. They turned functional space into a powerful corporate asset, and they achieved this massive transformation across 4 floors in just 2 days without ever shutting down the office. Section 6. Launching your wayfinding project. Here is your execution roadmap. Let's move to execution and see how this builds out practically. Here is our 6-step consultative roadmap to make this happen. Step 1. Physically assess your current system. Walk your corridors and document where your current signage is failing. Step 2. Define your scope. Starting small with a high-impact pilot zone, like our primary lobby, is always the smartest move. Step 3. Engage your stakeholders early across the facilities and brand teams. Step 4. Request a formal site assessment to evaluate your wall substrates. Step 5. Collaborate on digital mockups and proofs to validate the whole system before any ink hits the wall. And finally, Step 6. Plan the installation schedule. Believe it or not, this typically takes just 2 to 4 weeks from design approval to final execution. So are you ready to stop wasting budget on outdated clutter? The technology to turn your blank walls into your greatest operational asset is right here, and it's scalable right now. Thank you so much for joining this explainer. I'll leave you with this. When you walk down your hallways tomorrow, what story are your walls really telling?